going on, guys? So today what we're going to be doing is removing the third brake light off of an 04 Toyota Tacoma. So I know a lot of you guys out there that are looking at this video have probably tried to do it yourself, and you're just looking to see how hard it is. Well, me and Dallas, we looked all over YouTube to try and find a video that explained how to do this. We couldn't find one, so we figured why not make one of our own. So we're gonna get into it. Now, if you guys have already pried, you know that it's also mounted from underneath the headliner, as we found out the hard way. So we're gonna dive in and show you guys the ins and outs of removing your third brake light. I thought it'd be pretty cool to try.
I got style for you. Ain't seen you at the top, it's been a while for you. Pick you up and they look down on you. Take one loss, no one's around for you.
Look at that. I'm gonna jump up there and go ahead and pull the cover off. And while you're doing that, I'm gonna look at your interior. So we're gonna have to pull these back panels. Ooh, that's gonna be locked. All right, let me get in here. Oh, you can't be a big guy and work in a little truck. It's really hard. Plug it in this one. Okay, so what we've learned, let me get you guys straight. Here we go. All right, so what we've got so far is you have push pins here and here. You have your dome light, which the cover, I'll show you how to pop that off real quick. Okay, so you have your light. The way to take this light out, you take your flathead screwdriver, push it in there just barely, and push, like, just twist it. It'll push it back, the clips, and then you can pull it down like that. All right, your push pins, I'm just taking a flathead screwdriver, kind of getting behind them a little bit. They're Christmas tree pins, so they're just Christmas tree pins. You're just gonna kind of get behind them and pop them out. Next thing we have, let's see, 2 screws in your dome light. We'll have 2 screws on these side panels here, one here and one above the camera here. We're gonna have to pop those out so we can work. We're gonna have to try and work this entire panel. This side panels are gonna have to come down so we can lower the headliner, which is going to be a nightmare. So y'all stay tuned for a nightmare. Can you go grab our light? I don't know where I set the light. It's on the tripod somewhere. All right, so for your dome light, what you're going to do, it's got a push clip in the back. I know it's kind of dark, guys, but it's push clip. You just basically squeeze it, pull it out. There you go. Your dome light's off. I would try and do your best due diligence to keep all your screws together so you don't lose one. So far, I haven't needed anything extraordinary. They've all just been a standard Phillips screwdriver and flathead. There we go. Now we got some light in here. All right. Now, okay, so we've got our 2 Christmas tree pins out. Got our dome light out, which means our headliner is pretty much free right now in this general area. We've got to get our sides dropped, so in order to there we go, in order to get this headliner down to get to the screws in the back of our third brake light. So next, what we need to do This should just be popped in. We're gonna have to disconnect these here, which means we gotta unclip it. Okay, so on your door, on your seatbelt holder, the thing that I just did and learned, take your flathead, kind of go underneath your clip, your push button, and roll it like that. As you can see, we've popped it off, and it's just 4 tabs holding it on. So we'll set that off to the side. We're gonna have to unbolt this, so I'll have to get my toolbox out. But we're going to do the same thing on the other three. On the other 3, we'll have the 2 back ones and the driver's side. So on the backs, all I'm doing is going in from the side, rocking my screwdriver, and it's popping them loose. Now the back ones are on a hinge system, as you can see. So you just pop the 2 tabs. There's one on each side on the bottom. So you'll just kind of get in from the side here and just roll it, and it'll pop the ties. And if you look, I'm hoping you guys can see it from there. That's just a really thin plastic. So getting a screwdriver in there, you're not going to break anything, and you just want to roll it to pop that loose. All right, time for our toolkit. Can you lower the tailgate of my truck? And I got a Cobalt toolkit in the back. All right, let me see. It's probably going to be a 14, maybe a little bit larger. Let's try a 14. 14 it is. All right, so it's a 14 millimeter on all of your mounting bolts. 2/8. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Oh. And guys, they're on here tight. They're very, very tight. So don't be afraid to put a little bit of pressure on them. Okay, so as you can see, we have a clip. You can't see. Give me 2 seconds. We have a push clip right there, which is still stuck in our metal up here. And the same thing here, same thing here. So we're gonna have to squeeze these together, these little pins, pull them out, and mount them back on our side panel. And then you have line up pins right here, which will line it up around the window. All right, let's get to removing the rest. If I'm not mistaken, we're probably going to have to pull this lower trim panel, which should just rock out of place down here. It should just be popped in. There we go. All right, so this back panel, you have push pins here, 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 and down it. And then you have your main guide pin right here. And that's the easiest way to get that out. Now I'm gonna go ahead and remove this child safety cover, just so when I put it back in, I can line it up easier. Need to get this thing out of the truck, it's so big. All right, so what that allowed me to do is that freed up my section here for when I pull this panel out. You see how it allows that panel to move. We're just going to unclip it, right? I may have to pull that clip out too. Okay, so pull your panel for your seatbelt cover, the entrance for your seatbelt cover. Go ahead and pull that out too. Now I'm not for sure, but we may have to take this back seat off, this main back seat. So let me get to that right now. I know it's getting dark in here, guys, but just bear with me. Can I get a 12 millimeter? Yeah. So the back seat is held on with a 12 millimeter. All right, so now the seat should just lean out and pop up. And you have two brackets, one on each side, that'll slide down into its guide holes. Okay, from this point, what I'm going to attempt to do is, just to make it a little bit, I guess it'll be more difficult on us, but it should save us a little bit of time. Is we're going to attempt to get this headliner down. And just like that, our headliner is down. Let me pop this other side trim cover off. All right, just like that. And now, as you guys can see, let me get this cover. Okay, so as you guys can see, we have room to get in behind right there. Let's open the sliding glass. Kind of work these out just a hair, like so. And what we're going to want to do, I know you guys are crooked, give me 2 seconds. There you go. So when you pull the headliner back, there's a hole right there where the wires are running in, and then there's a hole right there behind the plastic trim right there. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna try, sorry about that, didn't mean to blind you. I know this is probably a horrible how-to, but it's the only one that you're gonna get because nobody else has posted any. But what we're gonna, whoa, where are you going? Where are you going? You're trying to run away from me here. Let me clip you guys back on the window. There you go. Now you're back where you're supposed to be. All right, so guys, it's a 10 millimeter, and this one is only finger tight. So we went through all that to find out it's a 10 millimeter. It's finger tight. And we're able to loosen it. Now, are those other, It's definitely coming loose? Okay, good. Now, are your new lights, do they have a screw or do they have the same nut style?
I think it's just a gasket.
All right, look at that. We got one of them. On to the other side, which is probably going to be a little more difficult because you have a frame piece right here. You need to kind of move out of the way. It's clipped in.
It's just screw.
It's just a screw tight. All right, I will need the wrench for this one. All right, here we go. Now we're cooking with peanut oil. Get in there. All right, so I've broken it loose. What I want to do, all right, you guys want to kind of be gentle with your headliner because you don't want any cracks or anything. Once we put it all back in place, those will go away, but you don't want to crack it. Matter of fact, can you yeah, put your hand right there. Hold that down. Yeah. Oh, I didn't get the nut that time. But I'm able to finger loosen it now. And it's off. Okay, so I just noticed something, guys, and I want to show you what these bolt nuts look like that we're taking off, so you know what you're looking for. So do you see this right here? This is what we're actually taking nuts off of. Right here is what they look like on the back of the light, and they run all the way through. So you're really only unthreading very minimal amount, but it kind of gives you a guide to slide your socket on it. All right, guys, time for the moment of truth. Now that we've got all this stuff removed, I know it's dark, but let's see. Let's see if it comes out. All right, so you have your basically double-sided sticky tape that they put on here. So we have a new double-sided sticky tape, 3M, for our seal. And then if you look at the back, it's just a single screw hole right here. Now these right here, so you know those other bolts went all the way through and then were tightened on with nuts on the other side. Now this particular third brake light here that my man has brought me is all LED, okay? And what we have for the back, instead of bolts, what you have is a slide clip, okay? So what the slide clip is going to do is slide over your metal bracket there, and then when you tighten your screw, which should slide right in like that, when you tighten your screw, it will pinch itself to the piece of metal, okay? So we have more wires, which I'm not for sure why, because it still has a plug-in. Hopefully it matches our plug-in, and if it doesn't, we'll have to do wire connectors that they provide. We also have some different kind of screws if your truck needs those. I don't know, we don't need those.
Man, it's starting to rust up here.
It's all right, it's about to be covered. Okay guys, so I went and got a scrape blade, and I'm gonna just scrape this old nasty seal off of here so we have a good, nice, clean touch with our new seal. You want to be gentle. You don't want to go too deep with it. You don't want to rip your paint or anything like that. And did you say you had a pair of pliers? That should work.
Yeah.
All right, so while we're here, because we didn't think originally that we would have to go into all of this, removing the headliner and all that good stuff. So originally we just kept trying to pry after pulling the two screws out that were holding the lens on. And the problem with that is when you pry on this metal, it bends. We want to make sure that we get a good seal back on there, because if we don't, your headliner is going to be wet. Every time it rains, then it'll start smelling like mold and all that other good jazz. We don't want any of that. So this is pretty clean. It's not the best in the world, but once the 3M takes over and sticks and we get it tightened down, it'll all fill in really tight. We don't need anything drastic on that. So my man gives me the world's smallest pair of pliers, and all we're going to do is just rock that part that we pried and just rock it out to where it's nice and smooth again. Nice and flat anyway, I should say. That should be good. Maybe a little more right there.
Okay.
All right.
Ready.
So as I was saying about our clip pins, what we'll do is they basically slide on like this, and you fold them over like so.
What?
Same on this side. We're going to slide it in and just kind of fold it over a little bit to where it holds. And then what I want to do, what did I do with the 3M? There it is. Okay, so what I'm going to do for my 3M is I'm going to hold my clip pins in place. So we're going to go ahead and unplug this, which is just a little, you push down, pull out, bam, done. Old light is gone. Slide our piece over. Clip pins are right here. Push it on over our 3M. This clip pin slid down, so we want to get it lined up. Okay, and then we're going to put it right over the top to where it can't slide on us. Make sure our 3M is touching all the way around, making a good seal. Okay, now our 3M is touching. We'll remove the top cover. Now we're full on stick mode. Full on stick mode. So looks like our new light will plug right in. Just push it down. I say that. No, it's not wanting to. There it goes. Okay. So it looks like it plugs right in.
Emily's down here, really? You think Emily will be all the way down here?
Good.
Marley?
Okay. Well, guys, we're running into an issue. The plug that we have will not plug in to the plug that it comes with. In turn, I pressed it, it won't come out. What we'll do is cut that one and cut this one. There we go. Plug removed. Who cares? Get rid of that piece of junk. Want to strip back our wires. This has got a heat shrink on it. I don't have the right strippers, so we'll have to do this the old-fashioned way. We're going to clip our wires off like so. Now this has got a heat shrink on it, so we'll just take our blade, run it down the heat shrink like so. Open it up to expose our wires. Cut that off with our blade. Alright, now if you guys don't feel comfortable doing this, don't do it. Just light pressure, roll the wire, and you have now cut. And as you pull your line off, you twist. And now your wires are perfectly twisted. And I don't know why I'm doing that either. We don't even have to do that. Look at me just making a mess. You know what? I want to do it that way. I want to do it that way because I want to make sure it's done right. I want to make sure they never come apart. So we're not going to use the provided little clips. We're going to use our own. I've got some better ones. So as we pull off, you just twist like so, and it leaves your wires nice and twisted like that. Okay, set this off to the side. Let's take our wire here, strip it back, pull our wires out, cut the coating, so we don't need that. Separate. Roll our wire.
Trey said I got style for you. They see you at the top, it's been a while for you. Big you up and they look down on you. Take one loss, no one's around for you. I won't stop, no, 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 no.